Happy Homebrew Wednesday. I have not done a Homebrew Wednesday video in a very, very long time, so it's that kind of year right now. This is kind of the season when I first started homebrewing, when it's getting kind of chilly and sweater weather and, you know, and all that, so, or sweatshirt weather. So anyway, sorry I've taken such a hiatus. You know, you guys probably don't watch this video anyway, but for those of you that might, I've actually got quite a bit of news. There's been a lot going on since the last time I did one of these videos. SJ Pour Challenge, tasting for the Southeast, or scoring and all that for the Southeast hub is done. Matter of fact, for all the hubs, congratulations to everybody that went on to the next round. Man, these things are a lot of fun. You know, I wasn't very excited about the session category, and I've even suggested that for the next competition we actually do Imperial, or a no category. I don't know, but I think Imperial sounds like a lot of fun. It'll make scoring quite a bit slower. But anyway, I enjoyed sampling and tasting all the different beers from the hub. It was a lot of fun. This is just such a great competition, and I'm really happy to see SJ get kind of the recognition on the was it the World News video, and that lady's very funny. But anyway, I digress. So I did a couple of brews since the last Homebrew Wednesday. I did one that it was kind of a collaboration brew with Effort Let's Brew It. I'm not going to send him any of those beers because it didn't come out the way I intended to. It was going to be called Liquid Bacon. It was going to be a smoked bacon maple porter. We tried to kind of hint at bacon using some smoked malts. Maybe I don't think I put enough smoked malt in it, or perhaps I put too much maple flavor in it. But anyway, it's a good first attempt. I'm going to do some refinement on it, and then I'll go at it again. And when I get it to where it's respectable, then I'll send him a few. But so anyway, I brewed that. I've got the rest of that on tap. I bottled some up, but you know, I might give those out sparingly. I'm just not very happy with it. So the second beer I did was an Imperial IPA. I was going to call it Revere's Ride, after Paul Revere. I don't know. I just wanted to name it Revere's Ride. No real reason. Then I read this Stupid History book that I bought for. It really is titled Stupid History. I think it's a little book that you read when you're in the bathroom. I thought it was kind of funny, so I got it. My son's been reading it. But anyway, I was in there for an extended period of time recently, so I picked it up and said, let me check this out. And come to find out, Revere's Ride is not very well named because Paul Revere never actually made the ride. I think he was held up in Lexington by the British regulars, and the other two, or he and one other guy, there was three of them. He and one other guy was held up. This other guy, Prescott, was able to make it all the way to Concord. So really the person that made the ride was a guy named Prescott. So I was going to name it Prescott's Ride. But then once I tasted it, I had this burning desire to come up with kind of a tricky name, because the beer came out pretty well and I'm very happy with it. So I was going to call it Hoptical Delusion. So, I mean, I literally woke up, I think it was on Saturday or Sunday, and I go, oh, I'm going to call it Hoptical Delusion. Until I went and did some online Googling and found out that there's a Blue Point Brewery that already has a Hoptical Illusion, so that would have been too close. But I came up instead with the name Optimal Velocity, which there actually is a thing called optimal velocity, and I think it has to do with, it's a mathematic formula, but it also is applied generally to traffic patterns for folks that are trying to plan traffic for cities. So anyway, came out pretty well, very happy. I'm going to put together some beer mails, and some of you folks will be getting some of that. The other exciting news is I've got a lot of brewing days coming up. So SJ Pour squared me away to a grain bill with, you know, I wanted to do a Scottish ale. So, and oh, by the way, everything made at SJ, thanks. I wanted to do a Scottish ale because my wife loves Scottish ales. So, so I sent a note to SJ the other night and said, hey, can you put together, do you have a recipe for a heavy Scottish ale? Because she likes Scottish ales, but she doesn't like wimpy-ass Scottish ales. She likes Scottish ales that have got some kick to them. So anything over 8%. So anyway, SJ sent me a recipe, and I said, yeah, I like it. So he put together the whole grain bill for it, and the yeast and the hops and everything. So it has candied sugar. So this is gonna be cool. I've never done a Scottish ale before, but I like them too because I like malt bombs. And I didn't really want to screw this one up. When you design your own recipes, a lot of times they're good, sometimes they're not so good. This is for Mrs. Dean, so I didn't want to screw it up. So I figured, go with someone that has a tried and true recipe. So that's what I got from the grain bill. So look forward to brewing that. It's gonna be. I mean, this is a lot of grain. I'm pretty excited about it. It's gonna be a big one. It should be about the same ABV, I think, as the double IPA that I made. So anyway, I got that. I've got another pale ale that he sent me that I'm gonna put together. So two beers I get to brew, and I get to finish. What I have sitting in the keg right now with the IPA and the maple porter. It's more than a maple porter. I'm calling it. What am I calling it? I'm calling it log cabin breakfast. I was gonna call it something else, but if you use grocery store names for maple syrup, sometimes they're not very politically correct, so I'm not going to do that. But I figured, log cabin syrup, that's kind of what I think of when I taste this beer. So it's not bad. It's not what I had designed it to be. So I got to tweak it a little bit more. Didn't even realize. I just looked up here. I actually have some cow nibs. I don't know how I'm going to use this. Wow. Weird things happen when you look up when you're filming. So anyway, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I guess there's not as much stuff going on as I thought. Really happy about the weather. We've got the heat turned on today. I'll be firing up the fireplace pretty soon. I'll be starting to make a bunch of, chocolatey dark beers that I do this time of year. So I'll throw in an IPA every now and then. Maybe I'll do a black IPA. I haven't done one of those. I tasted some of those from some of you fellow brewers, and there was one in the competition. So maybe I'll try a black IPA. I think the trick is to not get the burnt roasty thing, but to get a ton of hops and then have that dark color. So sounds like fun. So maybe I'll try one of those. Anyway, that's all I've got for the Dean's List. Hope you're having a great lead up to the holiday season. This is my favorite time of year, if I haven't said that already. And hope you have a happy homebrew and a very happy Homebrew Wednesday. Cheers.